Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, councilmen, commissioners, and staff. Welcome to the regular meeting of the City of Paterson Planning Board on the date Wednesday, April 6, 2022 at 6:30 p.m. via webinar session. Madam Chair, you may proceed.
Thank you. Will everyone please rise? Good evening, everyone. Please rise for the flag salute. I pledge
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Good evening, Madam Chair. You may proceed.
Okay. Commissioners, planning board staff, ladies and gentlemen, as chairwoman of the City of Paterson's Planning Board, I call this meeting of 4/6/22 to order. I hereby state that all of the provisions of the State of New Jersey Public Meeting Law have been fully and completely met, that the notice of provisions required have been properly posted in the Planning Board office and with the City of Paterson clerk, that the public notice and advertisements have been published in the Herald News on 3/27/22 in accordance with the law, and that the copies of such notice and public advertisements are on file in the Planning Board office, as is also the agenda listing the applications to be taken up by the Planning Board at this meeting. The procedures tonight will be in accordance with rules, regulations, and bylaws as heretofore determined by the Planning Board at its office in the municipal complex in the City of Paterson. Roll call, please. Roll call, please.
I hear you. Thank you.
Okay. Okay.
I have to get my paperwork. Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining our meeting. I'm going to call the attendance. Commissioners. Commissioner Udine is absent. Commissioner Ahmed is absent. Commissioner Cleaves is absent. Commissioner Fisher is absent. Commissioner Liranzo.
Present.
Thank you for joining us this evening. Commissioner Santana.
Present.
Thank you. Commissioner Omar.
Present.
Thank you. Commissioner Roman. Absent. Commissioner Figueroa.
Present.
Councilman Kalik is absent, and Chairwoman Northrop. You have 5 commissioners in attendance. I just received an email from Commissioner Cleaves, Madam Chair, that she could not attend the meeting this evening. So we're at 5 commissioners.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so notice pursuant to the Open Public Meetings Act addressing effective coronavirus measures on the next public meeting, consistent with the coronavirus-related restrictions of Executive Order Number 107, given on Saturday, March 21st, 2020 by Governor Philip D. Murphy, the Planning Board of the City of Paterson will not conduct in-person participation of the public at all future meetings until further notice. However, public participation will be available by means of communication equipment pursuant to NJSA 10:4-8, commencing on April 15, 2020. Though there may potentially be a practical need for a limited number of administrative, technical, or other city personnel to be present in or near the council chambers, 3rd floor, City Hall, 155 Market Street, Paterson, New Jersey, in-person participation of the public is prohibited. Nevertheless, for reasons of compliance with the said Executive Order Number 107, public participation will be available by calling 973-321-1579. The meeting ID is 711-680-001. For tonight's meeting, the public may also participate in the meeting by accessing the website of the City of Paterson, www.patersonnj.gov. And I'm going to repeat both the number and the website later on during the meeting. So if you didn't catch it, you will then. All right, we have 3 applications on the agenda this evening. I believe, Mr. Mariconda, are you I have JCM Investors I have,
Madam Chair, I think you're looking at the wrong agenda, Madam
I
Chair.
I actually am. You're actually right. Hold on one second. I'm sorry because I did print it. I don't know, got mixed up. I have People's Capital Group, LLC. I have, Ali Zadan, and I have, Fifth Avenue Millwork, LLC. I believe, Ms. Fosbad, that we're going to do People's Capital Group this evening first.
That's correct.
Okay, so, Mr. Maraconda, are you representing them?
Yes, I do. Yeah. Good evening, Madam Chair. Alan Maricondo on behalf of the applicant.
Okay, thank you. So the applicant proposes to construct a new three-story residential building with a total of 2 residential units on a vacant, 1,501.48 square foot lot. One family will occupy. I'm sorry, but what is that sound? Can you check with IT, Madam Secretary, because I heard some background noise, okay?
What are you hearing?
I heard, I don't know, it just sounded like, it was background noise, but it sounded like mechanical. Okay, that's why I'm asking if you could check with IT. Okay, all right. So the first floor proposes a one-car garage, a living and a dining area, a mechanical room.
Chairwoman, you're muted.
Okay, well, I shouldn't be. Can anybody else hear me?
Yes.
We're fine.
Everybody can hear me.
Yeah.
It's on your,
Yes, we can
it's
hear
on
you.
your end, Maggie. If you can't hear
I
me,
cannot hear you, Chairwoman.
okay. Can you please call me? No, call me.
Okay, we'll be back in 1 minute. Can you hear me? Anyone hear me?
I can
Hear
hear
you
you.
now.
Yes, it's on your end. Oh God, for God's sakes.
You want to continue, we cannot hear you, and then we can give the report while she fixes it.
I am definitely gonna continue, okay, it's definitely on her end. Hold on one moment. Okay, that was the IT department, yes, it is on Maggie's end, all right, so let me continue. So the first floor proposes, one family will occupy the first and second floors. Okay, the first floor proposes a one-car garage, a living and a dining area, a mechanical room, a laundry closet, and a half bathroom, and the second floor proposes 4 bedrooms. The third floor proposes a 3-bedroom unit with a mechanical and laundry room. This proposal is within the -2 zone of the Fifth Ward redevelopment plan. Variances are requested for the following. Lot area as 2,500 square feet of lot area is required and 1,501.48 is existing. Front yard as 3 feet is required and 1 feet is proposed. One side yard setback as 3 feet is required and 0 feet is proposed on one side. And 0 feet is proposed on one side. Rear yard setback as 20 feet is required and 10 feet is proposed. Maximum building coverage, 60% is required and 68% is proposed. An open space as 300 square feet of open space area is required and 250 square feet of open space is proposed. I will now turn it over for Ms. Fazbood to give us her review. Thank you.
Sure. The applicant provided evidence this morning, April 6, 2022, that the property taxes and surcharges are paid to date. Persons having a 10% or greater ownership interest in People's Capital Group LLC are Seth Martinez, providing an address of 14 Kensington Road in Chatham, New Jersey, and Aaron Fragnito, providing an address of 520 County Road in Ringgold, New Jersey. As indicated on the property survey prepared by Anthony Serrano and dated March 20, 2021, the parcel has frontage of 25 feet on Pearl Street, a rear lot line that also measures 25 feet, and eastern and western side lot lines that measure 60.14 feet and 59.98 feet respectively. The subject property is 50 feet away from the intersection of Pearl Street and Summer Street, and it has area 1,501.48 square feet or 0.03 acres. The survey plat also indicates that the subject property is a flat vacant lot located on the southern side of Pearl Street. Evans Architects has prepared a two-page architectural submittal revised on January 31, 2022. Drawing SK-1 titled as floor plans indicates details for curb, recharge pit, method of depressing curbs at driveways, water service connection, sidewalk, and sanitary sewer. Also, this page indicates the site location plan, the proposed site plan, the zoning data table, and notes. The proposed site plan indicates that the proposed building is to cover 68% of the lot and is proposed to be 1 feet from the nearest point of the building to the Pearl Street front property line, 10 feet from the rear property line, and 3.1 feet and 0 feet from the left and right property lines, respectively. Also, the applicant proposes landscaping at the rear yard. There are two 3-story residential dwellings on the east and west side of the subject property, and the existing dwellings on the adjacent lot to the east and the proposed building will have windows facing one another. Vehicular access into the building is provided by a 12-foot curb cut. Drawing SK-2, titled as elevations, indicates the proposed floor plans as well as the elevation plans. The first and second floors indicate a 4-bedroom unit, which contains 1,590.92 square feet of area. The first floor plan indicates a 1-car garage, a kitchen, a living and a dining area, a mechanical room, a half bathroom, a laundry room, and 2 internal staircases. 2 entry doors are also indicated on the first floor, of which one entry door provides access to the first floor duplex residential unit and the garage, and the second one, which is a recessed door, provides access to the third floor residential unit. The second floor plan indicates 4 bedrooms, 2 inner staircases, and the full bathroom. The access from the first to the second floor is through an internal staircase located in the middle of the building. The third floor plan indicates a 3-bedroom unit with an area 1,120 square feet. This unit contains a kitchen, a living and a dining area, a mechanical room, a laundry room, and a full bathroom. The second and third floors are cantilevered above the first floor and they encroach 2 feet to the front yard. Therefore, a variance is requested. The front elevation view of the building indicates a 3-story building with the parking garage door and the building's entry door situated to the right of it. The applicant proposes a brick veneer as well as a vertical siding for the facade of the building. The second and third floor indicates 2 double casement windows each. The rear elevation plan indicates a horizontal siding with casement windows and the rear egress door. The right side elevation indicates a vertical and horizontal siding for the facade. No windows are indicated on this side. The left side elevation indicates a vertical and horizontal siding with single casement windows on this side. The building indicates a height of 30 feet. If approved, the applicant shall provide a deed indicating that the first and second floors will be occupied by 1 family only, and the building will remain as 2-family residential units. The intent of the RA-2 residential district of the before redevelopment plan is to permit a more intensive residential use of land with various types of dwellings. The surrounding existing dwellings consist of older multifamily dwellings of 2 and 3 stories in height, although there are newer multiple dwelling units along Pearl Street. Variances are requested for the following. Lot areas 2,500 square feet of lot area is required, and 1,501.48 square feet is existing. Front yard at 3 feet is required and 1 feet is proposed. One side yard setback at 3 feet is required and 0 feet is proposed on one side. Rear yard setback as 20 feet is required and 10 feet is proposed. Maximum building coverage as 60% is required and 68% is proposed. An open space at 300 square feet of open space area is required and 250 square feet of open space area is proposed. According to the 540 development plan, no off-street parking is required on existing lots that are less than 50 feet in width. As this is the redevelopment area, the planning board must determine whether the granting of the requested variances to allow the number of dwelling units proposed by the applicant is appropriate for the lot and the immediate surrounding area. It shall be the responsibility of the applicant and/or the preparer of the plan to obtain a letter from the city engineer indicating that the plans have been satisfactorily reviewed prior to the plans being released to the construction official. This proposal is in the Wrigley Park section of the city within the 540 development plan. The area is zoned residential with neighborhood commercial areas located at some corner intersections. The neighborhood offers various types of dwelling units from older two-story residential units to newly built and approved 3- and 5-story buildings near the subject property. Projects on 71 through 73 Pearl Street and 54, 56, and 58 Pearl Street are some examples of the neighborhood development. In conclusion, the applicant estimates the cost of this proposal at approximately $200,000. The applicant should incorporate the design elements contained within the 540 development plan on the site and within the building. Some construction proposals approved by the planning board along Pearl Street include 71 through 72 Pearl Street to construct a 5-story residential building with a total of 20 units on September 28, 2020. 54, 56, and 58 Pearl Street to construct a 3-story residential building with a total of 12 units. That was the staff review for this project, Manager.
Thank you, Ms. Forsgood. Mr. Mariconda?
Yes, good evening again, Madam Chair and Commissioners. We are here on behalf of People's Capital Group LLC. We'll be calling 2 witnesses, Mr. Evans as our architect planner, as well as the applicant, Mr. Seth Martinez, who is with us. We essentially concur in the report provided by your planner this evening. As Mr. Evans' testimony will bring forward, and as the report of the planner also addresses, this is a vacant parcel in the redevelopment zone, which obviously we're looking towards redeveloping it and providing new quality housing, which is one of the primary goals of the redevelopment zone, to fill in these vacant lots and take them off the status of being not productive, but also creating negative possibilities on these sites to occur. So this is our goal that we're trying to meet. We believe the design that Mr. Evans will testify to will provide ample evidence of the positive elements of this project. So that being said, we'll be calling Mr. Evans.
Okay, please. Well, I see he's already got his hand up.
You swear affirm testimony about to give us the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
City and full name for the record?
Matthew Evans, architect planner, 470 Chamberlain Ave, Paterson, New Jersey.
And we accept him as an expert witness.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Please
Mr.
proceed.
Evans, they'll be posting our plan at this time.
Okay, so you can see that, I guess.
Plan is visible?
Yes,
Madam Chair,
Yes.
I see it, sir.
Thank you.
Okay,
As
so
small
we
as
have.
it is, we can see it.
I'm gonna blow it up a little in a second. The first sheet here is SK1. It has the site location zoning, some engineering details in the site plan. So what I'll do is go first to the site location plan. And as you can see, it's lot 3, block 4316. And here's our parcel. Next door is a vacant parcel. And next door to that is a 2-family house. And as you can see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 are similar residential lots along the Pearl Street corridor there. And you can see this city exempt property, there was I guess the Susquehanna Railroad was behind there at one time and it had been vacant. Some of those lots have been taken over, but what we have now is a vacant and abandoned site that we want to redevelop into a permitted two-family unit. With lots under 25 feet, parking is not required, but I'll go to the site plan. Let's see what the site plan is. Sorry. Okay. All right, so here's the property, and basically what we have is a 25-foot in width property, and it varies a little bit. It's 59.58 on the right side, 60.14 on the left side. It's about 1,500 square foot lot, consistent with the adjacent properties. We are proposing a single car garage, and that would be in the front of the building. The building, the main building is set back 3.1 feet in the front, but we do have an overhang on the second and third floor, which would be a 1 foot cantilever. It's 2 foot cantilever, which leaves 1 foot in the front. So we'd be seeking relief for that 1 foot in the front, but we do have 3.1 on the ground level. Okay, going to the floor plans. Now this is a little bit different kind of a design we've done. If you look at the first floor plan, we have the 1-car garage, and then we have 2 doors in the front. We have the first door next to the garage, which leads down the hallway past the laundry room and the powder room. And we have in the back, it opens up into a living, dining, and kitchen area with a closet and a mechanical room for that unit. And then there's a central stair after the garage, which brings you up to the second floor. And on this unit is a 2-story, like a duplex unit. When you come up those stairs, you have a landing and a hallway, and you have 2 bedrooms in the front, and then you have 2 bedrooms in the back, and you have a bathroom and a closet for that unit. So we have that. We have a 1,010.92 square feet on that level, and then we have 580 usable space included in that unit for the lower unit, which is approximately 1,500 change square feet. So here's the tricky part. You get the right side door next to the other apartment would be a separate and distinct entrance to the 3rd floor apartment. So you come up the entry stair here, you go over, and then you have a landing on the 2nd floor, and then you go up to the 3rd floor through that through the side, and then you land at the apartment at the top. So what we have upstairs is we have 1,120 square feet, which meets the minimum requirement of 1,100 for a 3-bedroom unit. We have 2 bedrooms in the front. We have a bathroom, laundry, mechanical, and another bedroom in the middle, and then we have a large open living, dining, kitchen in the back. So when you come into the unit, it's all public area in the front, and then the private sleeping rooms are in the front. Looking at the elevation, we have the garage entry door, and then we have the 2 doors for each unit. And then we have more of a modern design for this, with vertical siding and brick materials, with a canopy and an awning that stretches the facade of the building. And also we have a crown, which is along that front of the building also. And then that would be the front, and then we have more simplistic elevations for the rear and sides. We have a sliding door that goes out to the rear yard from the 1st floor garden level, and then As you can see, we have large bedroom windows, allowing a lot of light and air for the units and the upper floors. And then just some windows for the bathrooms and bedrooms on the left side elevation. So, and you can see the overhang on Pearl Street, and then the siding and different mix of materials. So we basically designed, this is a custom design for this lot, being that it's not really a cookie cutter kind of a lot, like a 25 by 100 or similar with these kind of houses. But as you can see, the house next door is similar in scale, and the lot next to us on the right is vacant now. And then there's one more property adjacent to that along at the corner of Summer and Pearl. So the house fits in with the RA2 zone. We have the zoning data and feel that this is in keeping with the redevelopment plan for two-family to permitted use. And we have the minimum square foot is 2,500. We have 1,500, which is a pre-existing non-conforming condition.
And similar to other lot sizes on the block?
Yeah, so as I mentioned, these other lots along the street and even going down Pearl, you can see they vary,
Right.
but they're all very shallow lots. Right. And we have 3.1 for the front yard setback, but we have a 1 foot overhang, which would be seeking relief for that. And then we have the side yards is 3.1 and 0. So we have a meet that requirement on one side, and then we have a 0 lot condition, which is consistent with many of the dwellings in the area. Let me see if I can find, some of these other houses have that condition, and it's typical in the area.
Right.
And the rear setback is 20 feet. We're proposing 10. Now, I believe there's a condition in the ordinance that it shows it as a variance, but in the regular municipal ordinance, for every foot that you're less than 100 feet, you're allowed to take off 3 inches on the minimum requirement. With not less than 10 feet for the rear setback. We set that as a variance, but it is in the ordinance for those kind of lots, but we're still calling it a variance.
And in any event, though, that rear setback doesn't abut another house?
No,
No, right?
no, it's 10 feet. We have 10 feet.
Right.
So we have a nice little yard in the back, like I said, with the sliding doors and patio.
So you've got 250 square feet of open space on a small lot. So that's at least an amenity for the owner, correct?
Yes.
Right. And even our building coverage is very close, given the small lot.
Yes, so it's a nice little manageable backyard. It's not like,
Right.
It's easy to maintain, easy to take care of.
Our building height conforms, number of stories conform?
Yeah, so we're under on the height of the stories conform. We're 8% over the maximum building coverage, but as we mentioned, with that restricted size of the lot, percentage-wise, it's in keeping with that lot coverage and the coverage of other buildings in the neighborhood.
Right.
And then impervious coverage, 80%. So we're at 70, we don't need a variance for that, so we've met that, brought it under that. And then lot width is existing, open space amenity, 300 square feet is required. We're shy 50 feet, so we have 250 square feet, but as I mentioned, it's a smaller lot. And then the other thing is the parking. There's no parking required for this, but we do provide a one space garage parking for the building.
Okay, so we actually do provide at least one off-street space, and the planner touched upon the other developments that are occurring along Pearl Street. So in your estimation, from a planning perspective, given this lot size, is this a suitable continuation of that redevelopment?
Yes.
Okay, again, we We believe that this obviously has a positive influence on the surrounding area, taking the vacant lot out of existence.
Yeah, so by removing a vacant or abandoned lot, we're putting in infill housing consistent with the redevelopment plan, consistent with the aesthetics of the redevelopment plan. I think that this is a successful transformation of that property and the neighborhood.
And also for the record, again, this is not direct testimony for yourself, but we have no problem, Commissioners and Madam Chair and Council, with your planner's recommendation that there be a deed restriction, that this would remain only a two-family dwelling building, and that the first and second floors would be occupied only by one family. This type of development, as Mr. Evans has provided, gives an opportunity for a family with a couple children to have a nice quality of life in terms of number of bedrooms. That's your goal here, right?
Yes.
Okay, so that's all we have with Mr. Evans at this time, Madam Chair.
Yes, your other witness is the owner of the property?
Yes, just Mr. Martinez briefly, yes.
Okay, then I'd like to have him sworn in, please.
Sure.
You swear affirm testimony about to give us the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Yes?
I have trouble hearing you.
Okay, okay, I'm gonna say that this is what I heard before, this mechanical sound. And it's coming from his microphone, so there's something wrong there. We may not be able to use him as a witness because I can't hear him unless IT can see if we could do something.
Absolutely, give me 1 minute, Chairwoman, I will do that for you.
Okay, hold tight. For the sake of time, I'm gonna ask a question of Mr. Evans.
Yes, Madam Chair, I will get back to you. Thank you.
Okay.
Mr. Evans?
Yes,
I have a question. I didn't see it on the plans, maybe I didn't hear it. Is there is there going to be any washer or dryers installed in this property since it's a brand new build up from the ground up?
Yes, each unit gets, let me start my, I'll share my image again.
Okay,
And we
I
can
must
go
have
to
missed that,
that.
sorry.
So we have, third floor plan, going to the first floor.
Yep,
The first apartment, you can see we have a side-by-side laundry next to
Right.
the garage for the
right,
unit. And then on the third floor, we have a stackable, next to the bedroom number 2.
Okay.
We have separate mechanicals also.
okay, all right, that's good. Okay, let's wait to see if we can hear, from the owner. This is the same sound I heard before, so. Okay, let's
Chairwoman
see.
Northrop,
Yes,
I'd like to let Commissioner Omar know that we muted her. In order for you, do you hear me, Commissioner Omar?
well, if you muted her, she's not gonna
No,
respond.
I'm gonna send her an email. Anyone who is muted, always understand that if you're on the phone, you can hit *6 and we can hear you. I will deal with her right now, but that was your hiccup. Thank you, Madam Chair, for your patience.
So are we okay then to talk to the owner?
We are fine. I will take care of the rest. Thank you.
Okay, so let's hear,
okay, Mr. Martinez, can you hear us?
Can he state his full name? I think it's his.
Still no good.
it's still not good. I can hear that sound. It's coming from
Okay.
me. Oh.
Who's speaking right now?
I'm speaking and I'm saying that
No,
it's
I
him.
understand the gentleman that's speaking.
The applicant, Seth Martinez.
Hey, Steph Martinez, I need you. Can you hear me? I need you to disconnect and come back. You'll have to because it's too much. So disconnect and we will wait, okay? Madam Chair, all my apologies. And commissioners, it's not as easy as it looks. There's always a little leeway, but I thank you for your patience.
Ms. Vega, I have a question.
Well, wait a minute, I'm not open to questions yet. Sorry, just hang
No,
on.
I have a question about No, I want a question about my phone, I'm sorry.
Oh,
No,
about the
no, you're
phone.
fine.
At the phone, you can talk to,
Oh, okay.
Madam
I
Secretary.
just wanted to
No.
let you, can I address you, Commissioner
Yes.
Omar?
Yes,
If
sure.
when you're calling on the phone, you hit *6, you will be muted, and in order to get back, *6. The phone
Okay,
is
but
a little
if I mute
different.
my phone, if I mute
Star
my phone
six.
from the,
That's
okay.
right.
Okay,
To get back on,
okay.
you hit *6. When you have
Okay.
anything around you, it will pick it up, but it was you, but now we know where it really is. So give me a moment.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Now, we have 3 applications on this evening. For the sake of time, I'm gonna ask the commissioners if anyone has any questions of Mr. Evans.
This is Commissioner Santana. I have a question.
Go ahead.
If we go back to the front yard variance, I don't know if Mr. Evans can go back to the site plan. I know that there's a variance, but I don't see that in your plan.
Okay, so what we're doing on this is, if you look at the first floor plan, we have a cantilever section, which is that bedroom number 4 above that on the right, and then you see where the garage is, the cantilever is 2 feet. So what happens is the building on the ground floor is 3 feet from the property line. So the cantilever sticks out 2 feet, and that would be 1 foot for the cantilever. So we still have the 3.1 feet on the proper, on the ground floor, but it does overhang above.
Can you show her the side view?
Oh, yeah, sorry, I'm sorry.
Because that would show you where we're talking about.
We'll see the shadow line on that. And then we go to the side, and then you can see.
There it is.
Okay.
So
So
it's not a ground level setback, in other words.
okay,
It's
so
all-
just to double check, so there's no variance for front yard, right?
There is,
Yes.
based on the upper floors
Yeah.
only.
But in reality, the ground level is the crucial setback element, and it does not create a ground level setback.
So
okay.
in essence, there is a variance, but it's because of the second level and how it jets out a little bit.
Yeah.
And the third level, okay?
All right. Thank you so much. Just one more question,
Yes.
Ms.
Yeah.
So, there's no basement, right? And there's
No
yeah.
basement, slab,
No
it's basically what we call slab on grade. There's no, whatever the first floor is, that's where we start.
All right.
So it's at grade, and then the back is, just, grass, rear yard, patio.
All right. Perfect. Thank you so much.
Madam Secretary, were we able to get Mr. Martinez back on?
One moment, please. Oh, I don't see.
Okay, so I'm gonna ask then, any other questions of Mr. Evans?
We have no callers at this time. If you want to open up to the public.
All right, well, I don't because there's no callers. Thank you for letting me know that. But I just want to make sure if we have any questions from any questions at all. Because if Mr. Evans can't answer them, then we will have to wait for Mr. Martinez. But if not, if he can answer them all and your questions are all answered, we can move forward. So does anyone here have any questions left of Mr. Evans? Or questions in general that they'd like answered? Okay, I don't hear any. So I'm going to give it, I'll give it about another 2-3 minutes and see if Mr. Martinez can get on. If he can't, we're gonna move forward without him. So just please, sit tight for just another minute or two. Thank you.
Mr. Mariconda, can you hear me, sir?
Yes, we can.
Can you call me, Alan?
Okay. Madam Chair, I think Mr. Martinez is on.
Mr. Martinez, are you there, sir? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Thank you. You may proceed, Madam Chair.
Okay, so can we swear Mr. Martinez in, please?
You swear to affirm the testimony about to give us the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
I do.
Say your full name for the record, please.
Seth Martinez.
If you are the principal owner of People's Capital LLC, is that correct?
Correct.
I didn't hear the first name. Can you repeat that?
Seth Martinez.
It's Seth Martinez.
Seth.
Yes.
S-E-T-H?
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, Seth, so you are the principal owner of the LLC, is that correct, the applicant?
Correct.
Okay, try to keep your voice up. You're really still on a deep microphone sound, but we're gonna limit the questions very briefly to you, okay?
Okay.
Do you agree with the testimony of Mr. Evans on your behalf?
I do.
And you've heard all the comments I've made, which you also do agree with?
I do, yes.
And you agree also with the restrictions that this would be limited to a 2-family house? And that the number of bedrooms of the lower level apartment, first and second floor, would be occupied by 1 family only, is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, that's all I have, Madam Chair.
Okay, does any of our commissioners have any questions of Mr. Martinez? Okay, hearing none, I'm gonna ask one last time, do we have any callers, Madam Secretary?
If you would kindly open up to the public, and then I could make sure
Yep.
there's no one else.
If anyone in the public has any questions of either Mr. Evans or Mr. Martinez, at this time, please call in at 973-321-1579. The meeting ID is 711-680-001. I'll allow 2 minutes for call-ins and 3 minutes for questions. Any callers? No?
Madam Chair and Commissioners, we have no callers at this time. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Mariconda, please summarize.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair and Commissioners. Essentially, we have a small parcel here which is consistent and comparable to the surrounding lots in the redevelopment zone. I know this board has addressed several projects successfully on Pearl Street as per your planner's report. This is an opportunity to create a new, 2 new housing units in an area where we have infill lots that need to be developed as per the direction of the redevelopment zone. So this applicant, with the board's review and consent, is attempting to comply with that redevelopment goal. And this is a good opportunity for an applicant to provide a unit with multiple bedrooms, which is a good thing when there are children involved, of course. So we did provide some open space, which was good on this lot, and we've tried to meet every other condition. The size of the building conforms to the surrounding area. So we would ask the board for a motion for approval. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Would any commissioner like to make a motion on this application?
Madam Chair, if I may,
Yes.
there was one condition which was stated in the review that there'd be a deed restriction in perpetuity limiting the first and second floor of the building to be occupied by one family and not as two separate units.
Yes, thank you.
And also a deed restriction that in total, the property would contain only 2 units as well.
Right,
Right.
okay. So, commissioners?
This is Commissioner Santana. I would like to
Yes.
make a motion for approval
Yes, please, go ahead, Commissioner.
on the application of People Capital Group LLC, 261 Springfield Avenue, Berkeley Heights, New Jersey, 09722, at the property located at 64 Pearl Street, Block 4316, Lot 3. Be approved, subject to site plan approval, bulk variance, then registration, city engineer, HAP Soil Conservation District, with the condition that Mr. Agoviva stated on the record.
Are we good with that, Al?
Yeah, that's fine. I put it on the record and I'll have
Okay,
it in the resolution.
Okay, good. Do I have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Santana, Commissioner Figueroa. Okay, roll call, please. Roll call, please. No, I can't hear you.
Pedro Liranzo.
Yes.
I knew you were there. Commissioner Santana.
Oh, I think she's frozen.
Nope, yep, something happened, so go on, we'll come back to her.
She's gonna come back. We can't
Yeah.
finish without her anyway, so she
Right.
may connect. Commissioner Omar. Commissioner Zoraya Omar, are you present?
Yes.
Yes,
Thank you. Commissioner Figueroa.
Yes.
Commissioner Santana, I just heard you.
no, I don't
No.
see her.
Okay, 1 second. Emelinda, 1 moment, please. Give us 1 moment while we connect her back on. Thank you.
Hello, this is Commissioner Santana.
Oh my goodness, thank you. What is your vote?
I'm sorry. My vote is yes. I'm
Thank you.
sorry, I'm gonna be on the phone because
That's
the computer
okay.
just started acting out of nowhere, okay? Thank you.
That's fine. We'll get you back on.
Yeah.
So you're good. Chairwoman Northrup, your vote.
Yes, yes,
5 in the affirmative.
congratulations.
Thank you for your approval.
Okay. All right, I believe Ms. Forsberg, thank you and good luck.
Thank you.
So I thank, Ms. Forsberg, we're gonna do Ali Zidane next.
That's correct.
Okay, all right. Mr. Mariconda, are you representing them?
I am representing Mr. Zidane, yes.
Okay. The applicant proposes a new second-story addition to the existing one-story retail area. The existing basement level includes 2 bathrooms and a storage utility areas. The first floor contains an existing restaurant and a grocery store, which will remain unchanged. The second floor proposes 2 one-bedroom units and a rear covered porch. The parcel is 3,267 square feet. The proposed mixed residential and commercial use is a conditional use within the R-3 high-medium density residential district. The existing one-story retail building has existing non-conforming yard setbacks and building coverage. Variances for the second-story addition are requested for a minimum lot area and lot width, front yard setback on Fifth Avenue and East 17th Street, side yard setback, building lot coverage, and off-street parking. A minimum lot area of 5,000 square feet is required and 3,267 square feet is existing. A minimum lot width of 50 feet is required and 32.67 feet is existing. A minimum front yard setback of 20 feet is required and 0.48 feet is proposed from Fifth Avenue and 0 feet is proposed from East 17th Street. A minimum side yard of 4 feet is required and 1 side and 3.1 feet is proposed. A maximum lot coverage of 40% is required and 51.7% is proposed. A total of 10 off-street parking spaces is required and 3 parking spaces are proposed. Requires conditional use approval, site plan approval, and bulk variances, and this is their first appearance. Okay, Ms. Farsboo, please give us your review on this application.
Sure. The applicant provided evidence this morning, April 6, 2022, that the property taxes and surcharges are paid to date. Ali Zidane, providing an address of 10 Hobart Place in Clifton, New Jersey, is the sole owner of the subject property. As indicated in the survey prepared by Kenneth Jaw and dated October 19, 2020, the parcel has frontage of 32.67 feet and 100 feet along Fifth Avenue and East 17th Street, respectively, a rear lot line that measures 32.67 feet and an eastern property line that measures 100 feet. The parcel has lot area of 3,267 square feet or 0.07 acres and is located on the southeast intersection of Fifth Avenue and East 17th Street. The survey also indicates a one-story commercial building, a metal shed, and an egress door in the rear yard, and concrete block walls along the southern and southeastern property lines. The existing building has an existing non-conforming condition, as it's encroaching into the required setbacks, and the building's overhang and the front door step, which are respectively located on the east side and southwestern corner of the building, are encroaching into the right-of-way. There is an asphalt area at the rear yard being used for the parking. A 2.5-story residential building is located approximately 5.9 feet to the west of the subject property. Heritage Madison Architecture, LLC has prepared a 4-page site plan revised on March 14, 2022. Drawing T-01 is titled Location, Zoning Map, Elevations, Zoning Checklist, Existing and Proposed Site Plan. And the plan indicates the scope of work, the location and zoning map, the zoning table, the proposed front and rear elevations, and the existing site plan. The scope of work indicates a second-floor addition consisting of 2 residential units above the existing commercial use. The proposed front elevation view of Fifth Avenue indicates no change to the facade of the first floor. The second floor will contain a horizontal siding with 2 windows for the facade. The proposed rear elevation indicates a horizontal siding, 2 entry doors with an open porch and a staircase at the rear to provide access to the second floor residential units. No change to the rear facade of the first floor is proposed on this elevation plan. Drawing SP-01 indicates the proposed site plan, proposed lighting and security camera plan and fixtures. The proposed site plan indicates that the existing awning at the rear is to be removed, and a second-story addition, a rear covered porch with a staircase, and 3 parking spaces are to be constructed on the subject property. The rear shed and the retaining walls will remain unchanged. The second floor addition is to locate 0.48 feet from Fifth Avenue front property line, 0 feet from the East 17th Street front property line, 3.1 feet from the eastern lot line and 42.5 feet from the southern property line. The existing 17-foot curb cut provides access to the rear asphalt parking spaces. Each parking space measures 9 feet by 18 feet. The proposed lighting plan indicates the lighting detail and 4 recessed security cameras at 4 corners of the building. Drawing A-01 is titled Floor Plan. The first floor plan indicates no change to the use and area of the existing retail spaces, which consists of a restaurant and a grocery store. This plan indicates the layout of the rear second floor covered porch and the staircase. The proposed second floor plan indicates a second-story addition measuring 29.7 feet in width and 56.9 feet in length, which is 2 feet cantilevered over the existing first floor. Also, the second floor plan proposes 2 one-bedroom units which are identical in layout, and each unit has 842 square feet of area. The residential units contain a kitchen, a living and a dining area, and 1 full bathroom. The access to the residential units is through the rear covered porch and staircase. The existing basement floor plan indicates the storage and utility areas and 2 half bathrooms. No change are proposed in the basement area. Drawing A-02 is the elevations. The proposed left side elevation indicates a horizontal siding and 4 windows for the facade of the second floor as well as the covered porch and staircase at the rear of the building. The proposed right side elevation indicates 2 existing entry doors on the first floor, the rear porch and staircase, a horizontal siding and 4 windows for the facade of the building on this side. The average height of the building is 23.54 feet. In the R3 high-medium density residential district, the mixed residential and commercial uses are a permitted conditional use, subject to sections 500-5.41 and 500-4.1 of the Land Development Ordinance. Section 500-4.1 indicates that business uses in the mixed residential commercial districts shall be located on the ground floor and residential uses to be located only above and or behind the business uses in the same building. The proposal satisfies these conditions. There is a requirement of 10 parking spaces for the retail based on 1 space per 200 square feet of floor area for the commercial use and 3 spaces for the 2 dwelling units. The applicant is proposing 3 parking spaces on the south side of the subject property and requesting a variance of 7 spaces. Variances are requested for the following. A minimum lot area of 5,000 square feet is required and 3,267 square feet is existing. A minimum lot width of 50 feet is required and 32.67 feet is existing. A minimum front yard setback of 20 feet is required and 0.48 feet is proposed from 5th Avenue and 0 feet is proposed from East 17th Street. A minimum side yard of 4 feet is required on one side and 3.1 feet is proposed. A maximum lot coverage of 40% is required and 51.7% is proposed. 5th Avenue is a 2-way county road. The applicant shall obtain the county planning board approval for this proposal. The applicant shall provide a designated area for the refuse and recycling to avoid trash accumulation on the site. Due to the limited area considered for off-street parking spaces on the south side of the property, the applicant shall ensure that the site is maintained properly and kept free of trash and debris at all times to provide a clear and unobstructed area for the vehicles parking on the site. It shall be the responsibility of the applicant and or the preparer of the plan to obtain a letter from the city engineer indicating that the plans have been satisfactorily reviewed prior to the plans being released to the construction official. This proposal is in the Riverside section of the city, which represents a mix of land uses, including residential, commercial, and industrial properties. The subject property is surrounded by residential buildings to the east and south. In conclusion, the applicant estimates the cost of this proposal at approximately $150,000. That concludes my review for this project, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Ms. Farsboot. Mr. Maraconda, please proceed.
Yes, ma'am, thank you. We'll be calling Nasser Al-Mukhtar of Heritage Architecture as our first witness and Mr. Santana as our second witness. That's it.
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm testimony about to give us the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
State your full name for the record, please.
Nasser Al-Mukhtar, Almukhtar.
Thank you.
Madam Chair, do we accept Mr. Nasser as an expert?
Yes, we do. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Nasser, you had an opportunity to prepare our site plan in connection with this application, is that right?
Yes,
And as such, you're fully familiar with the report also of our planner this evening?
that's correct.
Okay. Would you give us an overview of the site, in particular, its current conditions and what the applicant proposes at this point? And bearing in mind also to give us some sort of analysis of what the surrounding uses are in terms of comparability of these mixed uses along Fifth Avenue.
Sure, if I may share the screen, the drawings.
Sure.
Yes, please, go ahead.
Thank you. Do you see the screen in front of you with the drawings?
Yep, small as it is, we can see it.
Okay, I'll try to zoom in as the...
You can, yeah, zoom in by section,
Okay.
that's fine.
Sure. So first, this is an application to add a second floor. There's an existing grocery store on the first floor, one-story structure, and we're proposing to add 2 one-bedroom units, almost the same footprint of the existing structure, except we had to bring it back a little bit, so there's some minimal changes so that we can open some windows as far as setbacks to the and satisfy the building code for that. This is located at 246-248 Fifth Avenue. It's, as Mr. Marconda has alluded to, the corridor of Fifth Avenue is a mixed multifamily, some commercial uses, some grocery stores, and it's very diversified. This is the zoning map. This is located in the R3 zone, mixed medium and heavy residential. And as Ms. Farsbud has mentioned, this is a permitted use to have second floor apartments and residential and first floor commercial. This is the site plan as it stands currently. It's on the corner of 5th Avenue and East 17th Street, the southwesterly corner and the southeasterly corner. And this is the one-story existing grocery store. Behind it, there's a bituminous concrete area, which we're proposing to provide some parking there, some parking spaces, removing the metal shed, and providing a set of staircases in that rear portion to have access to the second floor units.
So these these parking spaces, excuse me, Nasser, did not exist prior to this design, is that right?
It's a paved area. Some of it was parking. Some of it, was a metal shed. So we're trying to clear that space to provide access to the second floor and to provide some more organized parking.
Right. So you upgraded the existing parking that was not up to standard.
That's correct. Yeah,
Right.
it's going to be.
And the shed is gone. Will be gone.
The shed will be gone. Yes, that's
Right.
correct.
Right.
Yeah, so this is the front elevation. There is access to the store on the first floor. And then the second floor is an addition, siding, horizontal siding addition, simple addition with 2 simple units. This is the rear elevation. This is the proposed set of staircase. It will be covered to provide protection from the elements. And there are 2 separate entrances so that you can have separate access for each of the units. And then moving on to the proposed, so we are using the existing curb cut. It's a 17-foot curb cut. The metal shed would be removed, as I mentioned. The staircase is mentioned here, and then we're providing 3 parking spaces to the back. There will also be a provision of security cameras throughout the property on 4 corners, and there will be a light added to the parking lot so that we can provide sufficient parking to access the apartments and for the parking lot as well. This is also a detail of the LED lights that we are proposing to use to light up the parking lot. This is the first floor. It indicates the existing commercial use for the 2 stores. And then the second floor, there will be 2 apartments, separate units, 1 bedroom, dining room, kitchen, and living area. And then we have the basement. There are no changes proposed to the existing basement floor. So basically, I'm sorry.
I didn't mean to interrupt, Nasser, but that basement space is utilized just for the benefit of the grocery and restaurant area, is that right?
That's correct. It's strictly for the commercial use. They have their own access and they use it for storage and what have you.
Right, and I guess bathrooms for customers or employees.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, sorry to interrupt.
No problem. So yeah, that's what I was going to mention. The basement, there's no change proposed to the basement, no change proposed to the first floor. It's mainly basically adding to the existing footprint of the structure just to add two apartments, 2 1-bedroom apartments. Most of the bulk variances are pre-existing conditions, and the setbacks are not changing. Mainly are not changing. One of the variances is the smaller lot that is required. We're required 5,000. We have 3,267. But those are pre-existing conditions that are there currently.
Right. And as you move along the 5th Avenue corridor, similar lot sizes up to this one?
Yes, pretty much. Yes.
Yeah.
And then we have the 2 side, the left side and the right side. That's where we indented the second floor a little bit so that we can open some windows and to provide light and air for the apartments. And we're proposing siding for the second floor addition. So that's basically it.
Okay, then setbacks are all based on pre-existing conditions, correct?
Pretty much, yes.
Right. And again, lot coverage as well, which is only about 10% over the requirement as it exists. And we're providing 3 good clear parking spaces for the residential units?
The anticipation is 1-bedroom units usually is used by local people who work in the neighborhood. So the anticipation is that those will be mainly used for the grocery store and the restaurant, not for the apartments. Right, go ahead. Yeah, we don't anticipate a need for the 1-bedroom units to require parking.
But in any event, that could be something that the applicant and the tenants, the commercial and residential tenants, can work on to mutually share, or if needed, those spaces depending on the hours of the day, I would assume, correct?
Yes, especially for overnight parking, if it's required. The commercial uses will be closed then, and those can be used for the units, correct?
Correct. That was our thought, and I know the applicant would agree with that.
Yes.
That would be fine. Also, with regard to the 1-bedroom units, they comply with square footage requirements?
That's correct, yes.
Okay. And we talked about the area being, a mixed-use corridor. 5th Avenue, East 16th Street is a regular bus stop as well, which the public can access to. Is that your understanding as well?
Yes.
That's a regular New Jersey Transit crossover to River Street.
Yes, and in terms of the square footages of the units, we're required to have 600 square feet minimum. We're providing 842, so it's good size.
Right. And there are other mixed-use buildings along 5th Avenue which have the pre-existing residential uses above. So we're similar to those?
Very similar, yes.
And this would also require a Passaic County Planning Board review on a county road, correct?
That's correct, yeah. I don't anticipate any problems with the county because our ingress and egress, the vehicular is off of 17th Street, so I don't think we should have any problem with the county.
Right, we're not changing any curb cuts or ingress egress on the county road, correct?
That's correct.
With regard to designating a refuse area and recycling, I'm sure the business use has a plan. Do you show that on your plan, or is that something that we would need to provide?
We can provide that, that's no problem.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I believe that's all I have of Nasser, Madam Chair. Thank you.
Okay, do you have another?
Yes, Mr. Zidane only.
All right, please, let's have him sworn in.
Sure.
Where is he?
The plans have to be minimized, I think.
Let me stop sharing. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Ali?
Yeah, hi, good evening. Good evening.
We have to turn on his camera.
Everybody can see me now?
Yeah, not yet.
How's that now?
No. No.
Part two.
Yep.
Okay, we're good.
Good now?
Yes.
Okay.
Please raise your right hand. You swear or affirm testimony about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
State your full name for the record, please.
Ali Zidane.
Good evening, Mr. Zidane. You are the principal or owner of this property, is that correct?
Yes.
And how long have you owned this property?
I own since 92.
Okay, so about 30 years.
How about yes?
And has consistently been a restaurant and grocery store combo on the ground floor, is that right?
Yeah.
Do you operate it or do you rent that space?
I rent it.
Rent it? Okay.
Yeah.
And you've heard all the reports from our city planner as well as Mr. Nasser's testimony?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, and you're in full agreement with his testimony?
Yes. Yeah.
And you're okay with the idea of that parking space being shared if needed during different hours of the day?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. And I know you're very familiar with the Riverside neighborhood.
Yes.
These businesses, are they essentially walk-in businesses or people coming in on site?
Yes. Yeah. They're all working together, yes.
Okay. There's various other businesses around the immediate area that serve those customers, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. These units will be rental units, not condo units, obviously, correct?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So you're in agreement with Mr. Nasser's testimony. You understand that we would have to provide, and I'm sure there's provision for it already, designation of how the refuse and recycling is disposed of, if you can tell us how it is?
About in the back?
Right. Do you have it enclosed? Do you have an enclosed area, or how do you have it worked out?
Could you say it again? Repeat again,
Yeah,
please.
do you have an enclosed area where there's separate garbage and recycling designated space?
Yes.
Okay. So your architect will provide that as a supplement amendment to the plan.
Okay.
And that's all I have, Madam Chair, at this time.
Okay, I'm gonna open it up to the public. If anyone in the public has any questions of either the architect or the owner at this moment, please call in. Let me get the phone number. Please call in at 973-321-1579. The meeting ID is 711-680-001. And I'll allow 2 minutes for call-ins, 3 minutes for questions. And while we're waiting to see if we have any people calling in, I personally would like to propose making a requirement, should the commissioners decide to grant approval, there would have to be a condition on this. I think we need I know that one-bedroom units don't usually carry too many people going in there, especially on a second floor above a developed area for retail. They don't usually have cars. But just in case they have cars, I think we have to allow and make it a requirement that these folks are allowed to use that area for the parking in the evening. Because that area over there is very, very tight, very congested, and there really aren't, especially at night, there won't be any spaces. So, I mean, that's my own personal requirement, you know, should we decide to approve this application this evening, that would have to be in there.
We accept that condition.
Okay. All right, and also the refuge, that has to be also a declared area for the recycling and the, you know, the actual refuge other than the recycling parts, okay? So there has to be two separate little bins there and two separate areas and cordoned off. In the meantime, I'm going to defer right now to Madam Secretary, do we have any callers?
Yes, Madam Chair, we do not have any callers at this time.
All right, so now I'm gonna open up questions for either the architect or the owner at this point. Commissioners? I see Commissioner Alonso.
I have a question
Yes, please, go ahead.
for Mr. Nasir.
Yes,
I didn't see two exit or two set of stairs to come in from the third floor or the second floor, just in case of an emergency.
Yes, Commissioner Lorenzo. So the code for something like this requires egress windows and one set of stairs. So we do satisfy the code with one set of stairs. If this was a 3-story addition, then yes, you require 2 sets of stairs. But with the egress windows and the provided set of stairs, we comply with the building code, definitely.
Right, and that would be subject to fire department and building code inspection as part of the CO process. But the architect is absolutely correct that given the height of this building, the number of units and the mixed-use character, the fire safety windows and the egresses does fully comply with our city codes. And we don't fall under any state DCA because we're not providing 3 units.
That's correct, yeah. City and state actually it complies as well.
Right.
With the fire safety, yes.
okay.
Okay.
And they also perform their own inspection, so we have to abide by what they want anyway. The final end to that is we have to comply.
That's correct, yes.
Okay, all right, so, commissioners? Okay, no callers.
I just concur with your recommendations.
Commissioner Figueroa, you mean with the parking?
Yeah, the
And the
parking
refuge.
and the refuse.
Yep.
Yes, Madam Chair, that's my only thing I agree with.
Yeah,
Yes.
those would be my recommendations. All right, any other questions, any other comments from the commissioners? Okay, hearing none, I'm gonna ask Mr. Maricano to summarize, please.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. I think the application is very straightforward. Your planner's review was very clear and concise, and so I believe also was our applicant's testimony along with our professional. This is a very typical use in the residential mixed-use area in Riverside. Public transportation exactly right on this corner helps tremendously, and given the surrounding area and the services that are provided on the first floor, frankly, that use has been there for as long as I've been around, and Mr. Acquaviva and I both grew up nearby, so we both know that use has been continuous there for a long, long time. So it's a suitable use, and I think it's an opportunity to provide 1-bedroom units, which are definitely needed because we have a fairly large workforce in Riverside that works right along River Street and farther along closer to the Hawthorne border, some of the industrial buildings. So it's really ideal for providing new housing. That being said, we'll ask for a motion for approval.
Thank you. Would any commissioner like to make a motion on this application?
Madam Chair, if I could just, the
Yes,
conditions on
Mr.
record.
Acquaviva?
Thank you.
And actually, Mr. Maricano is a lot older than me, so he could speak as an authority on how long that.
Right, and I'm probably older than both of you, and I remember that place too when I was there, so, okay.
The 2 conditions that I heard, Madam Chair, are what you put on the record before. The plans would be revised to reflect a designation of the refuge and recycling area, obviously to the satisfaction of our division director, and that the tenants would be able to use the rear parking area, the 17th Street parking area, paved area in the evening, as part of their residence. So those would be the two two conditions I would add in the resolution based upon your thoughts and your recommendations.
Thank you. Mr. Aquaviva, please repeat the second condition. You went very quickly.
That the tenants would be able to use the rear parking area, which is on 17th Street for evening parking.
East 17th Street, not 17th Avenue, am I correct?
East 17th Street.
Street. Thank you very much. You may proceed.
Okay. Would any
I would
commissioner?
like to make a motion.
Yes, Commissioner Alonso, please, you need the Madam Secretary to read it?
Please, I want to make the motion approving and with the condition said by
Mr.
Or-
Aquaviva.
Mr. Aquaviva.
Madam Secretary?
Please.
Yes, please, read it,
Okay.
please.
On the application of Ali Zaidan, located at 248 Fifth Avenue, Block 2112, Lot 10, proposes a new second-story addition to the existing one-story retail area. Let's see, the second floor proposes 2 one-bedroom units and a rear covered porch. There are, trying to figure it out. Okay, here we go. Proposed from Fifth Avenue and 0 fees proposed from East 17th Street. The parking area and the conditions are actually, I wish I could read the whole thing, but I may have to include this, Chairwoman, give me a moment. Says here, a minimum side yard of 4 feet is required on one side and 3.1 feet is proposed. A maximum lot coverage of 40% is required and 51.7% is proposed. A total of 10 off-street parking spaces are required and 3 spaces are proposed. Is that correct, Mr. Aquaviva?
That is correct, Madam Secretary.
Right, so this is a motion to approve on the application.
That's correct, and he also prepared to grant the resolution for conditional use, site plan approval, and bulk variances, subject to, one moment, to the city engineer, Passaic County Planning Board. Because Fifth Avenue is a county road, with the following conditions which we mentioned to be considered at the board's earliest opportunity. He so moves. Is there a second?
Is there a second?
Second. Sorry?
Okay, I heard a second by Commissioner Figueroa.
Yes.
Go ahead. Okay, roll call, please.
Thank you. Commissioners, Commissioner Iranzo.
Yes.
One moment, hold on please. Commissioner Santana,
Yes.
Commissioner Omar,
Sorry, who are these people?
Commissioner Omar. Thank you.
Yes.
Commissioner Figueroa
Yes.
and Chairwoman Northrup.
Yes.
This application has been granted. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay, now on the final application for this evening, it's Fifth Avenue Millwork LLC, 185-191 Fifth Avenue, Block 2104, Lot 1. Mr. Maricondo, are you representing this applicant?
Yes, Alan Maricondo on behalf of Fifth Avenue Millwork LLC.
Okay, thank you. The applicant proposes a partial second-story addition above the existing cabinet manufacturing building, 1-story and 2-story additions to the east and northeast side of the existing building, and a surface parking lot with 3 parking spaces on the east side of the parcel. The existing first floor area will remain unchanged. The first floor of the new addition proposes an extension to the existing cabinet manufacturing facility and a garage. The partial second floor on the southern side of the building will be devoted to a conference room, a common area, a half bathroom, an internal staircase, and private offices. The second story above the proposed garage will be used as a storage room, and the subject property is located within the mixed-use district. Variances are requested for the following: front yard setback as 10 feet is required and 0 feet is proposed. on the partial second story to the Fifth Avenue front property line, and the side yard setback is 10 feet is required, and 0.27 feet and 1.3 feet are proposed on the west and east side yards respectively. Rear yard setback is 10 feet is required, and 2.16 feet is proposed. Lot coverage as 60% is required, and 81.69% is proposed. Parking as at least one of the 4 spaces is tandem. Drive aisle as 12 feet is required and 10 feet is proposed. The stall depth as 22 feet is stall depth for the 22 feet of stall depth for parallel parking space is required and 18 feet is proposed. And it requires site plan approval and bulk variances. This is the first time they are appearing before us. And Ms. Farsboo, would you give us your review, please?
Sure. Property taxes are paid today. The applicant also provided evidence on April 1st, 2022 that the surcharges are current. Persons having a 10% or greater ownership interest in Fifth Avenue Millwork LLC are Suhail Dania, providing an address of 239 Tanglewood Court in Franklin Lakes in New Jersey. Peter Burrell, providing an address of 18 Spring Street in Butler, New Jersey. And Munir Sarsen, providing an address of 67 Island Road in Mahwah, New Jersey. As indicated on the survey, prepared by Glucker and Demblicker and dated February 2nd, 2018, the parcel has frontage of 100 feet along Fifth Avenue, a rear lot line that also measures 100 feet, and eastern and western side lot lines that measures 100 feet each. The parcel has lot area of 10,000 square feet or 0.22 acres, and it's located on the north side of Fifth Avenue. The survey also indicates that the subject property contains an L-shaped, one-story masonry commercial building and a shed attached to the east side of the building. The existing building has an existing non-conforming condition as it's encroaching into the required setbacks, and the southeast corner of the building at the entry door steps are encroaching into the right-of-way. There is an existing egress door with the steps at the rear yard, 2 wooden poles with a gate at the entrance of the lot, a concrete wall with a chain link fence on top along the eastern property line, and a concrete wall along the rear property line. The New Jersey Transit Railroad is located to the west, and the European Auto Exchange, which is a car dealership, is to the east of the subject property. Heritage Madison Architecture LLC has prepared a 3-page site plan revised on March 22, 2022. Drawing T-01 is titled Location Zoning Map, Zoning Checklist, Existing and Proposed Site Plan and Notes. And the plan indicates the scope of work, the location and zoning map, the zoning table, the proposed front and left side elevations, the existing site plan, the proposed site plan, and the general notes and codes. The proposed site plan indicates that the existing one-story shed on the eastern side of the building is to be removed. Also, this plan proposes a partial second-story addition above the southern side of the first floor and 1- and 2-story addition to the east of the existing building, forming an L shape. The existing building and the additions are to cover 81% of the subject property, and they're to be located 0 feet from the front property line, 0.27 feet from the western property line, 1.3 feet from the eastern property line, and 2.16 feet from the rear property line. A surface parking lot accommodating 3 parking spaces each, measuring 9 feet by 20 feet, and a drive aisle of 7.11 feet are indicated on the site plan. The proposed front elevation indicates stucco finish and new windows for the second-story addition, as well as a stucco finish and new garage door for the 2-story addition. The proposed left side elevation also indicates a stucco finish for the left side of second-story addition above the existing building, as well as the 2-story addition at the rear. Drawing SP-01 is titled Floor Plan and Site Lighting Plan, and it indicates the existing and proposed first floor plan, the site lighting plan, and the light fixture. The first floor plan indicates that the existing building will remain unchanged, except that some walls are to be removed to create an open floor area between the existing floor and the proposed addition. Also, the first floor indicates the existing bathroom and the proposed 570 square feet of garage area on the first floor of the two-story addition. Two internal staircases located in front of the building and behind the garage will provide access to the second floor of the proposed additions. The site lighting plan indicates that the new lighting will be installed on the east side of the building. Drawing A-01 is titled Floor Plan Elevations and Legends, and it indicates the proposed second floor plan as well as the proposed right and rear elevations of the building. The proposed second floor plan indicates an approximately 1,583 square feet of second floor addition above the front portion of the existing building, and it contains a bathroom, a staircase, a common area, a conference room, and two private offices. The second floor above the proposed garage will contain a staircase and a storage room. The proposed right side elevation plan indicates the existing facade with two windows as well as the proposed facade containing a stucco finish and a new overhang door for this side. The proposed rear elevation also indicates a stucco finish for the proposed one-story and two-story addition. It also indicates the existing windows and the egress door are to remain unchanged. The building is measured to 25.20 feet in height to the second-story roof line. There is a requirement of 4 parking spaces for this commercial building based on 1 space per each employee on maximum shift, plus 1 per each vehicle used in the conduct of the enterprise. The cabinet manufacturing facility has 3 employees and 1 commercial vehicle on the site. The applicant is proposing 3 parking spaces on the east side of the subject property and 1 space inside the garage for a total of 4 parking spaces, which meets the parking requirement. Since the deliveries for the commercial use are taking place inside the subject property, and the drive aisle and the stall depth of the parking spaces are not wide enough to provide adequate maneuvering area for the vehicles leaving the site, and all of the parking spaces are tandem, the vehicles need to reverse into the county road to exit the property. To provide a safe exit and no interruption to the Fifth Avenue traffic flow, the applicant should inquire about leasing 3 parking spaces from the shopping center across Fifth Avenue from the subject property. In case of additional future employment at the facility, the applicant shall amend the application and provide more parking for the commercial use. The subject property is located in the mixed-use district. The current cabinet manufacturing facility is a permitted use. Due to the nature of this commercial use, this site shall meet the required bulk and dimensions of I-1 industrial development. Variances are requested for the following. Front yard setback as 10 feet is required and 0 feet is proposed from the partial second story to the Fifth Avenue front property line. Side yard setback as 10 feet is required and 0.27 feet and 1.3 feet are proposed on the west and east side yards respectively. Rear yard setback as 10 feet is required and 2.16 feet is proposed. Lot coverage as 60% is required and 81% is proposed. Parking as at least one of the 4 spaces is tandem. Drive aisle as 12 feet is required and 7.11 feet is proposed. And a stall depth at 22 feet of stall depth for the parallel parking spaces is required and 20 feet is proposed. Fifth Avenue is a 2-way county road. The applicant shall obtain the county planning board approval for this proposal. It shall be the responsibility of the applicant and or the preparer of the plan to obtain a letter from the city engineer indicating that the plans have been satisfactorily reviewed prior to the plans being released to the construction official. This proposal is in the Riverside section of the city, which represents a mix of land uses including residential, commercial, and industrial properties. The subject property is surrounded by the adjacent commercial use to the east, which is a car dealership, the shopping center retail stores to the south across Fifth Avenue, and the residential buildings to the north. In conclusion, the applicant estimates the cost of this proposal at approximately $200,000. That concludes my remarks for this project. Madam Chair.
Thank you. Mr. Maracana?
Yes, thank you again, Madam Chair. Again, good evening, Commissioners. I will be calling Nasser as our architect as well as a representative of the applicant, 2 witnesses this evening. I think the nature of the application is very self-explanatory based on your planner's report. in terms of the addition that's needed for the long-standing business use that does employ local residents as well. So at this point, I'm sorry, I'll be calling Nasser Al-Mukhtar.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm testimony about to give us the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Do you
Yes,
approve for the record?
Nasser Al-Mukhtar, Almukhtar.
And we accept him as an expert witness. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Nasser, if you would, obviously you've heard our report this evening from our planner, and you're familiar with the site plan, having prepared that site plan, is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, could you give us a review of your site plan analysis then?
Sure, I'm going to start sharing if I may.
Yep.
You see the drawings in front of you, Commissioners?
You do?
Okay.
Yes.
Perfect. So this is an existing cabinet manufacturing facility. It has been located there for a long period of time. It's located at 185 Fifth Avenue, located in the MU mixed-use district. Again, located on Fifth Avenue. The proposal is to add a second floor, but it goes above the existing first floor, so we call it second floor, as well as removing a shed, a storage shed, existing storage shed, and providing some much needed space for that manufacturing facility. They are doing good. They do a lot of cabinets throughout the tri-state area, especially in New York City, but they want to stay in Paterson and they want to stay in this facility. They're happy with this location. They have new machinery, very advanced machinery there, and they do need the space. This is the existing site plan. It's an L-shaped building, 1 story. There are some offices towards the front, and the proposal is to remove that and include it into the work area. That is much needed. There's also a shed here towards the back or towards the side. This will be demolished. And the proposal is to do a addition there to square off the work area. I will come to the floor plans in a moment, and this will give you a better view. And then on that L portion, there would be a garage for their vehicle that they have. And above that garage, there would be some storage space, additional storage space for their materials. This is the front elevation. The overhead door on the right side is for the proposed garage, and above it, there would be that storage space. That storage space would be accessed from a set of stairs from the work area. And then on the second floor, we're proposing to add a couple offices just so that they can have their meetings if they need to. And that would be separate from the work area, which is on the first floor. If we move on to the floor plan, so this is the floor plan. That the hatched walls are the proposed addition. We have a proposed garage that's 570 square feet for their vehicle, and then behind that garage there's a staircase that goes up to an area above the garage that would be used for storage, and this would be accessible from the workshop area. The rest, we're removing a lot of the walls there so that they can have free-flowing production lines, and it should be sufficient space. They would have sufficient space for their equipment, the newly purchased equipment. And then there's an entrance here, existing entrance. We're enclosing that entrance for a lobby, and this lobby would have a staircase, a set of stairs that goes up to the second floor. That would have a common area, a bathroom, a conference room, and then 2 private offices. And those would be facing Fifth Avenue. And then here also on the second floor, this is the storage room that would be up directly above the proposed garage. As far as the elevations, there would be all stucco elevations. Also, I think I should mention, if I may go back to the first floor, the workshop, we are proposing a 10-foot by 13-foot high overhead door for deliveries. And I think Ms. Farsgood has mentioned the access for the deliveries. I did discuss that with the applicant, and the deliveries are always conducted before the work hours. So the parking will not be used. The entire driveway and the parking spaces, the parallel parking spaces, would be available for the delivery truck to come in. As far as turning, this overhead door would go up. The delivery vehicle would go in. They can make the turn back up into on-site turning space and then coming out onto Fifth Avenue. So we do not anticipate any traffic interruption facing on Fifth Avenue. And then after the delivery is finished, then the work hours start, the parking spaces are clear and it can be used for parking. As far as the lighting, we are also proposing to provide some LED lighting to light up the driveway and the parking area. And then we are proposing to have, again, 4 parking spaces, parallel parking spaces. It's a little bit tight, but this is a manufacturing facility. It will be only used, there are no, it's not a retail space, so it will be all used by the owners. The workers there are all using, they are locals and using mass transit. They don't have any cars. So although it's a little bit short, the driveway width is a little bit short, but it is doable. Given the tight space that they have there now, I think the expansion is more important than providing fully compliant parking spaces. But we do put that, the way we are proposing does work with what they have. And then the elevations would be simple elevations with windows and stucco finish.
So would that conclude your testimony, or you have more?
Yes, that's basically, yes, correct.
Okay. Okay, again, so in your estimation, based on the zoning chart, there's no changes or variances created that create any negative impact on the surrounding buildings or businesses?
Correct. There's on the left side there's the railroad tracks, and on the right side there's a car dealership, a used car dealership.
Right.
There's no negative impact there.
As you alluded to, Fifth Avenue is a bus transport corridor as well as River Street, which is right close by, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. That's all I have, Madam Chair, excuse me, for Mr. Nasser.
Okay, and you have another witness?
Just one of the principals of the business, that's it, yeah.
Okay, do you want to swear him in, or do you?
Sure, sure.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm not sure if it's Sal or one of the other principals that's with us.
I see someone called Sahil Nuin.
Dunya.
Dunya.
Oh, it is Sal, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Camera, please.
Yes.
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
You state your full name for the record.
Suhail Dunya, Souheil, and last name is Dunya, Dounia.
Sir, excuse me, can you spell your first name again?
Souheil.
Thank you very much, sir.
My pleasure, man.
Okay, Mr. Dunya, good evening. You are one of the principals of Fifth Avenue Millwork LLC, correct?
Yes, sir.
And as such, you're fully familiar with this project. You've been working with Nasser and with my office, and you agree with his testimony?
100%, yes.
Okay, great. All right, and you guys have been in business there how long now?
For 8 years.
8 years. And prior to you, there was a similar business, or if you're aware?
No, it was not. It was a different business. It
Okay.
was, yes.
No problem at all. But anyway, you've been continuously there 8 years and functioning very smoothly.
Yes, sir, very well.
The application is intended to give you more workspace, essentially, to continue to function the way you are.
That's very true, yes.
And there's no retail visitors on site whatsoever.
Not at all. We have another office in Paterson also. We conduct our administrative work.
Right, this is where you do the actual physical operation.
Exactly.
Right, okay. And you have Patterson employees which either walk or use public transportation?
Yes, sir, they do.
Okay. That's all I have, Madam Chair.
Okay, I'm going to open it up to the public at this time. If anyone from the public has any questions of the architect or the owner of this property, please call in at 973-321-1579. The meeting ID is 711-680-001. I will allow 2 minutes for call-ins, 3 minutes for questions. And I while we're waiting for those call-ins, if they should come in, I have a question. I did hear earlier, I believe, it was either Mr. Mariconda, that said that the deliveries take place on off hours. Am I correct?
Nasser indicated that. Is that
Nasser.
correct, Mr. Dunia?
Yes, it is.
Okay, all right, because also I noticed that in the review, it said that, you know, somebody has to make a turn, if there's deliveries coming, that, they would reverse into the county road. And so maybe, you know, the owner should be looking into maybe, leasing three spaces or something from the shopping center across the street. I don't want to make it, I honestly don't want to make that a particular or a recommendation at this.
To go and make their U-turn within our facilities because we have a garage door within the facility.
Okay, all right, well, that would just.
I'm sorry, Madam Chair.
No, I was just about to say that's, you know, after hearing that the deliveries don't come during the normal time, during the daytime hours, then I realized I don't want to make it a requirement, but I just want to make sure that everybody's under the understanding, should it need be, you can go talk to your neighbors, that's all.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
We're familiar with the owner of that shopping center, so if we need it, we can do that.
Definitely go in.
All right, good. Well, I'm gonna ask first, Madam Secretary, do we have anybody on the line or looking to call in? You're muted.
I know, give me a
I'm
second.
sorry.
No, it's okay. It just takes me a second or two. We're not live anymore. No, I have no callers at this time. Are there any conditions, Mr. Aquaviva? No conditions.
Did not hear any.
Madam Chair, you may proceed.
Okay, so, I would like to then open it up to the commissioners. Commissioners, do you have any questions?
This is Commissioner Figueroa, Madam Chair. I have a
Yes.
question to piggyback, because actually I was thinking the same as you on this.
Scary. Okay.
Yeah, and it's good that if they, you know, like you said, if they could somehow talk to
Their neighbors, yeah.
your neighbors if the need arises. But I'm just curious, what are the delivery hours? Because I know it says before work. What are the hours?
Now,
6 to 8.
Okay.
Would be the deliveries and then your normal operating hours or what?
Our operating hours from 8 to 5, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m.
Okay, yeah, traffic around there shouldn't be too bad.
No, it's a fast delivery and comes once a month or twice a month because we order everything.
Yeah, okay. It's really
All right, thank you. That was it.
Okay. Any other commissioners?
I just wanna say thank you for doing the business in the city of Paterson. Are the people that work there are Patersonians?
Yes, sir.
Very good. Thank you.
And we are proud to be part of Paterson. We have few operations over there, and that's why we would like to expand in the city.
Very good.
Thank you
Very
for
good.
having your business here. Thank you. Okay, since I hear no other questions from the commissioners, Mr. Maracana, would you like to summarize, please?
Yes, just briefly, Madam Chair, I think the application has been fully vetted and the testimony is very clear and specific based on your planner's report. And the site plan and variance that are being requested, I think, are reasonable. It allows the applicant to continue to function smoothly, serve the neighborhood, serve the city in general, and continue to employ Paterson residents. So we seek a motion for approval.
Okay, thank you. So I'm gonna make the motion on this application. Okay, on the application of Fifth Avenue Millwork LLC, 185 Fifth Avenue, Paterson, New Jersey, 07524, and the property located at 185-191 Fifth Avenue, Block 2104, Lot 1. I move that the board attorney prepare a resolution granting site plan approval, bulk variances, city engineer, Passaic County Planning Board, Fifth Avenue is a county road, and HEP Soil Conservation Service. And since I did not hear any requirements, and there are none, I'm going to ask now for a second.
I second.
Okay, I heard Commissioner Lorenzo. Second, roll call, please.
One moment. Commissioners, Commissioner Iranzo,
Yes.
Commissioner Santana,
Yes?
Commissioner Omar.
Yes.
Thank you, Commissioner Figueroa,
Yes.
and Chairwoman Northrop.
Yes.
5 votes in the affirmative, this application has been granted. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good luck. Good luck.
Before
Thank you, sir.
anyone leaves, I'd
Yeah,
like
before
to.
anyone, go ahead. I was gonna just, before everyone leaves, I have something I'd like to say also. Well,
Yes, but before you do
The
that, that's
applicants.
fine.
Yeah, the
I'd like
applicants.
to, we have no further business this
Right.
evening.
Right, so the applicants can leave, but I wanna talk to the board for a moment. Okay, so everybody sign themselves off?
And Madam Chair, if after you actually, your talk, I want to just mention something as well, if you don't mind.
No, I'm fine with that. I'd like to, first of all, please ask those of you who are here this evening, I do appreciate it, but I'm gonna ask that everybody please respond to the secretary, whether, to Maggie, at least to respond that you're gonna be in attendance this evening, that your attendance is going to be here at the planning board. Because sometimes it's going on to the 11th hour, we don't even know if we have a meeting. So just, have the courtesy of calling in a timely manner, or texting Maggie and letting her know.
Thank you.
Okay,
So
that,
much for that. If I may, Al Aquaviva, I need him as well right now. When I call everyone, they've been doing this for
Excuse me, do you want all this on?
No, I do need this on if you don't mind.
yeah, leave this on.
Just this and that's it. The rest
Okay.
we will do after. Just everybody stay on as the commissioner and I will handle it from here. But I wanted to say that I know we change commissioners a lot. One of the things that I want everyone to understand is that if I get 5 or 6 commissioners and you decide not to show up, I get it, but you called me. When a commissioner doesn't answer me and won't respond to my text and ask them, are you gonna make the meeting, you have to let me know. And this is the reason why. Alternates are there for a reason. But in the planning board, if I only have so many, none of us know who's coming. Doesn't really affect anyone, but any commissioner, whether new or old, should reply to my text. I text all of you, ask you what are you gonna do, but don't come to the meeting, because if I don't have 5 commissioners or 6, the meeting must be taken off the agenda and we have to carry all the cases.
Yeah.
You just can't show up. May I say this? You can't show up because now it's a hardship for me. because the planning board's gonna look like we're in disarray. The best thing is to call your secretary, let me know, not much. If I'm not here, you have your chair, and you have Pedro Liranzo, who's very good at putting people in their place, am I right?
Yeah, Maggie, I'm gonna make a motion to I'm gonna make a motion to close, and then I'm going to, I wanna stay on, okay? Maggie's correct, we've gotta do this, if somebody doesn't show up, you know, we got attorneys, we got applicants, we got everything else going on, they've gotta just have the courtesy. All right, so I'm gonna make a motion to close, I make the motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Okay. Second, Commissioner Alonso, everybody, aye, good, we're closing, all right. But I also want to say that if anybody doesn't have a computer, so now we're closed, if nobody has a computer through the city, please reach out to Maggie tomorrow, because we have got to get everybody on the city computers. I mean, no joke, we have to get on these city computers. So if you don't have one, and I believe Commissioner Omar is one of them, there was one, Planner Vazbud, right? You don't have one.
Amalanda, I'm sorry, I gotta do this quickly. Amalanda, are you there? Amalanda,
Yes.
I need you to sign off. Please.
All right, so we're good on that. I'm gonna
Oh,
open.
you lost a few commissioners. I don't know where they're at.
Well, I don't know what happened because I see 1, 2, 3, 4, we're still here. All right, I'm gonna ask, I don't know, somebody might have hung up, but at this point, I'm going to
No,
ask.
you cannot speak at this moment, please.
I closed the meeting, excuse me.
I know you did, but I gotta wait for the camera guy to shut us down as well. I got IT, but I also got John Ming who has to shut down the camera.
I just
understand.
I just spoke to Ryan, he told me it's closed.
And Madam Chair, just let me know whenever you want. I want to just give you a reminder.
We have the cameras up because all of our videos are on, but the meeting has been closed.
I need a final reply from Ryan. Please give me a second.